All right. Let's see here. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about oils and natural solutions for women's health. For those of you who might be catching this later on replay, just briefly to tell you a little bit about me. I'm Shauna Bell of SBell Wellness, and I'm a real avid user of essential oils. I really do try to be mindful about what I'm putting in and on my body. I'm really trying to use natural solutions for cleaning, for beauty products, and really searching for that integrated medicine approach to really help the body be able to heal and be at its best. I'm also an occupational therapist. I do work in the schools with kiddos. I also have my certification in youth yoga, so mindfulness is a big part of what I do on a daily basis for the students I work with, but then also for myself. All right, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about just kind of pointing out like what are some of those women's health issues that we might be dealing with and what kind of symptoms we want to look out for. Because I think sometimes we get used to those things and we don't realize that those things really aren't supposed to be happening for our body. So if we can kind of start to pay attention to our body, get to know our bodies better, then we kind of can tune into those signals and be able to do something about it to help us be our best. And then let's talk a little bit about toxic load and what that actually means. Kind of seems like a buzz term, and so I want to talk about that a little bit and what that really means for our body. And then we'll talk about some just habits that we can get into with food choice, oils, some supplements, and then using some oils for cleaning and personal care and beauty type of things. I do have some DIY recipes to share. So if you have some paper and a pen, you want to jot some things down, you can always reach out to me too, and I can definitely send this over. And so all the recipes will be there for you. All right, so besides trying to be a superwoman every day of our lives, women are dealing with lots of other things going on. Heart disease is very prevalent in women, breast, ovarian, and cervical cancer, hormone imbalances. We're hearing more and more about that, endometriosis. 1 in 10 women are dealing with that. It's a really big deal in PCOS and PMDD, PMS, perimenopause, right before menopause, fertility and pregnancy issues, autoimmune diseases, anxiety, depression, and so many other disruptors of our mental well-being as we're balancing all of these things of being a woman. And so why are we dealing with them, right? What's happening? So genetics, one, right? Those are things that we don't have control over. Age and ethnicity, those things can play a factor. Toxicity in our environment, our foods, our products, and just the lifestyles that we choose sometimes. And we might start to notice things like changes in weight and temperature fluctuations, can't figure that out. Digestive issues. I mean, digestive issues are at the root. That's the foundation of a lot of what's going on in our body. Pain and inflammation starting to happen. Those mood shifts and emotional changes in our sleep and our energy. And then things like poor hair and skin and nails. We start to notice all of these things happening to our body when we're not feeling our best. And so we want to think about, like, where do we even start, right? And really, honestly, I think the biggest piece for me and my journey so far and coming into more of this natural way of doing things is really learning how to listen to your body, really knowing that those signs and signals are there and responding to them with love. Because that's the piece that I think we can get really super frustrated with. And, why can't this just be okay? We're working so hard at this, that sort of thing. And so I really think that we do just have to be mindful of being able to listen to that without kind of judgment, but just knowing that something's there, what can we do about it, sort of thing. And so, limiting our toxic exposure is a big part of that. I'm going to talk about that tonight. And then, avoiding what we have control over, right? There's so many things that we don't have control over, but If we can avoid the ones that we do, then we're putting ourselves in a better place. We're protecting our body. And what I say is, when you start, don't stop. And so I think that that's where we get probably frustrated the most, or where we think that it's not working, is because we might start something gung-ho and then kind of back off and forget, or something takes precedence over it, and then we feel like it's not working. And so we'll kind of talk about some of these things as we go through. This is a pyramid from doTERRA that I think is a really great place to put our mindset when we're thinking about our wellness. And so we do have that nutrition and eating right at the foundation. We have exercise that's super important for our body, rest and managing stress, reducing that toxic load. And then when we think about healthcare, really informing ourselves. That's why everybody's showing up and participating here, is to really understand and learn more about it. And then finding those people who you can trust and who are going to help you on that journey for integrated medicine, so that you can use some of those complementary care type of things in an effective way, with the support of the trained professionals who are there to support you. All right, so we'll start at the foundation, talking about food. I'm definitely not a food expert in any way. I have quite the years of experience on trying to figure that out for myself. I will say I do recommend considering having food allergy and intolerance testing done. I know that that was life-changing for me and my personal wellness journey. It really was a huge key factor in reducing inflammation. I actually had no idea how inflamed my body was. And signs and symptoms were like joint pain and hormone issues, thyroid issues, fertility issues, all those kind of things that were really a result of inflammation. And so that information, working with integrated medical professionals and getting some testing done really was helpful, and continues to be helpful. It's definitely not a stop sort of thing. It's an ongoing thing when you're figuring out this food. But that really helps. And then really thinking about feeding the liver. I've been doing a lot of reading and learning about this. And, our liver is one of our biggest detox organs in our body. And so we really need to think about feeding the liver. So feeding our body what it actually needs. And so some things that we can think about are really eating more plants, really thinking about choosing a variety of colorful fruits and veggies in our daily routine, choosing lemon and garlic and onions. Those type of things really are something that the liver really likes, those nutrients. Nuts and seeds are super important. I'm going to talk a little bit about that more from a cyclical standpoint for the woman's body. And good fats, we're kind of thinking that fats are bad, and there's some misinformation about that. And so thinking about grass-fed butter and ghee, coconut oil and avocado oil, some sesame and flax oils, those are all really good fats that we can actually use in moderation to really feed the liver those nutrients that it needs to do its job of detox for us. Cilantro and rosemary are really great for the detox organs as well. And of course, we know avoiding processed foods and sugars as much as we can, and drinking quality teas, and actually choosing dark chocolate for a treat. They have really good antioxidants in them to support us. Just a little bit more about some food choices. So I talked about seeds and nuts, and you can kind of dig into this a little bit further on your own. I will say it's something that I'm still really working on myself, to try to get into more of a routine with it. This is called seed cycling. So seed cycling is thinking about your menstrual cycle and the days that you have. So we're just kind of talking like a 28-day cycle. I know some people's are give or take a few more of that, but you're looking at, for day 1 through 14, you're consuming flax seeds and pumpkin seeds and fish oils. And then day 15 to 28, you're consuming sunflowers and sesame seeds and primrose. And the whole idea here, what people have found success with it is, it really is nudging those hormones to do what they need to do when they need to do them in the cycle. So it's really nudging that estradiol metabolism so that we're not having the excess when we don't need it. And then also really helping that progesterone to balance out the ends of our cycle too. So these can really help with irregular and difficult periods, heavy flows, some of those real terrible PMS situations going on, like bloating and mood, headaches and energy, fibroids and endometriosis, painful breast tissue kind of things going on. This can support the thyroid. We can notice changes in hair and weight. And water retention. And then, I want people to think too that it's not just for those who are dealing with the menstrual cycle. It really can go into that perimenopausal and menopause phase as well to help support things like hot flashes and night sweats, some of those mood swings and fatigue that happen in the for women when experiencing this. So like I said, it's still a work in progress for me. When I'm good at it and I do it, I have noticed a difference. And again, it's really that whole start and don't stop that we all need a little boost on for these things. There's a whole bunch of information out there about eating for your cycle. So really looking at the phases of the cycle and being able to match food up there. So flowliving.com is a really good resource there to kind of dig in and start looking at those kind of things. If that's something that is bugging you and you think that you would like to dig in a little more. And then just one more thing on the nutrition part of it is the supplementation. So, I've talked before in the past, our foods are so depleted of nutrients, the soil's depleted. And so we really need to consider supplementation to really get the nutrients that our body needs. I'm a super big fan of the Microplex VMZ, which is our multivitamin. And then we also have our omega oils and essential oil blend, and then the alpha CRS, which is super important for those antioxidants that we need to replenish when things are going on in our body. So the doTERRA calls them the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is all three of those together. What stands them apart from some other vitamins is they are a whole food complex. So you're really getting those nutrients that your body needs. They are bioavailable, which means that the body can actually absorb them much better. So that's something to look for when you're looking at the quality of vitamins, because there's so many options out there. And then they also have the tummy tamer in them, which I don't know, lots of people have mentioned that taking vitamins can be really rough on the stomach. I've had that experience in the past, but never have had that with doTERRA's. I do think that the tummy tamer blend of essential oils in there are really helping support that digestive piece. And then two of the other ones that I recommend for digestion for sure, as we're talking about really making sure that the inflammation in our gut can stay down so that our body can be well. Terrazymes are phenomenal for helping break down our foods. The more we age, the less our body is actually producing those naturally. And so this is a really good supplement to make sure that your body is able to do that. I used to take them just like when I was eating bigger meals or things like that. And I've transitioned to actually taking them with each of my meals. And I really do notice a difference. Definitely changing and not having bloat from eating and just really having more digestive regularity. So I do recommend those Terrazymes for sure. And then probiotic. We all know that our digestive system really needs some healthy bacteria in there, and a probiotic really helps with that. doTERRAs are really awesome that they are double encapsulated and time release, and so they really can survive that harsh environment of the stomach to get to our intestines and be able to do what we need them to do. Two more supplements specifically for women's health that I think are really important, that I know a lot of people have benefited from starting to take, is the phytoestrogen complex. And so the idea with the phytoestrogen complex is it's really bringing that hormonal levels to a homeostasis level. So this is a supplement that you could take regardless of whether your hormones are elevated or if they're too low, because the idea is that it's actually just bringing to homeostasis depending on wherever it is. And so it does that, you know, through the soy extract that's in there. I know some people have questions about that. We hear that soy is not good for hormone, excuse me, balancing, but it's the way that it's sourced. And so you'll see that 50% of it is from genistein, which is a source that is quality sourced and beneficial for the hormones in the research that they've done. That supplement also has flaxseed, so I talked about that a little bit ago, about how flaxseed is super important. Also has pomegranate in it, which is helpful. So pomegranate is the reason why I personally don't take it, because I have an intolerance to some fruits. And so I can't speak for myself, but I have watched lots and lots of trainings on the hormone summit and those kind of things, and lots of people are having super success with this. So I didn't want to leave that off and talk about that tonight. And then the bone nutrient. So the bone nutrient is also something that's super important for women to think about to really help maintain our healthy bone mass. And these supplements have a really good vitamin D in there, which, you know, if we live anywhere north of Florida, we're all deficient in vitamin D. And so that's definitely something that we want to consider for supplementation. So 2 other great quality doTERRA supplements there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about toxic load. So what are toxins anyway, right? So toxins are chemicals. They're synthetics. We're exposed to them in so many ways, in the air, in the water, in the food. You know, our household products, our mattresses, our carpets, our walls, everything, our beauty products. So what we have to kind of think about, like, what are some things that we actually can tune into? What are some things for us to easily kind of think about with those toxins, so that we can do something about the ones we can control, and why, right? So toxic load is really a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden on our body. Our body is phenomenal in what it can do, but over time, these toxins build up. They aren't processed. And so then our body is starting to struggle. We're starting to have illness. We're starting to have disease. These free radicals are really building up. They're actually parking themselves in fat cells, and that's really causing, you know, weight gain, obesity, all of those kind of things are happening because these toxins are parking themselves and not able to get out of the body. We're having these free radicals that are basically just the byproducts of the toxins, and it's really causing damage to our cells and our tissues. And so what do we do about it? Well, we have to become label detectives. And I know sometimes that can seem overwhelming and it can seem challenging. And so I will say the number one thing that you can do is make sure that your products do not say fragrance or perfume on them. Fragrance comes from a million different things. They don't have to tell us what's in it. And it really is wreaking havoc on our detox system, our livers, our kidneys, our lungs, the reproductive system. And the reason why is because the fragrance contains phthalates, and the phthalates are endocrine disruptors. It's disrupting our hormones. These are mimicking the hormones. It's making it look like it's estrogen in our body. It's storing it up in our fat cells. And, you know, the studies are really showing that it really is impacting and actually causing illness and disease. And so we really want to make sure that we are tuning into that, especially when we're thinking about our female health, and for our younger generation. Like, I think, you know, what if I knew this stuff before now, right? And so I think it's super important for them to know that it's okay to want those beauty products and to have those things, but we have to be informed about which ones we're using. And so it really is important to start reading those labels. This is a really great graphic from Beauty Counter, actually, that really talks about what ingredients we should avoid. And so I talked about fragrance, but there's lots of other ones that you can take a peek at this and kind of see, and make sure that your cleaning products and your skincare products don't have these things in them. And there really are products out there, you know, that we can get and we can use, and they do perform well without these things. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of tuning into them on purpose to know. And so with doTERRA, we've got lots of great, you know, things that we can use as far as cleaning products. You can make your own cleaning products with lemon and orange and On Guard and Melaleuca. Those are all great ones for cleaning. You know, personal care products, it's really great to think about. You know, we have a whole personal care line for doTERRA. There's other great companies out there that have some of these products that are going to make sure that we're being mindful of not having those ingredients that are harmful. But you can get things like body lotions and shampoos and conditioners and, you know, all the face line. I love the Virage face line from doTERRA. Deodorant. Really cool tip, actually, when I was thinking about the deodorant. So some people say, like, when you use natural deodorant, like, your body is not able to kind of detox from it. And so actually using the face mask as a detox, like once a week on your armpits, actually really helps to detox that and be able to use the natural deodorant and it do its job. So just a little tip there. But, you know, lots of things that we can look at. If you're ever on the doTERRA website and you look in the personal care section, you can see all kinds of things there. But toothpaste and mouthwash, definitely another thing that you really want to tune into the ingredients in there. And then the DIY cleaning. And so I talked about that a little bit. And so there's some, these are some of my top ones that I make. And so I make my own hand soap, all-purpose cleaner, toilet bowl cleaner, carpet freshener, and then air fresheners. So again, these, I don't want to sit here and give you recipes, but I can certainly send them to you. So definitely reach out to me and let me know if you would love to try some of these. I'd love to send it your way. All right, so let's talk about some oils that we can do to help support, protect us, and really kind of help us with different things. And so we talk about oils for detox, antioxidants, which we talked about those free radicals that are happening from the toxins that are building up. So we need to think about what antioxidants we can put into our body to help those cells regenerate and get rid of those ones that we have caused damage to with those chemicals. And then hormonal support, hair and skin and nail is super important. And then, of course, keeping our emotions and our sleep in check. So here's some oils for detox. So what we know about detox is that citrus oils are really helpful for the body for that, for our liver to be able to detox, and for our lymphatic system. So our lymphatic system is our drainage system in our body, and so it's really important for us to tune in and think about some things we can do for that. So just putting a drop of citrus oil like grapefruit or lemon or lime in your water is really good. Making sure that you're drinking enough water is important, and I know that putting citrus oil in my water has been helpful to make sure I'm actually drinking more water. The Zenderkin blend is actually our detoxification blend. So it's a blend of oils that are specifically, the properties of them are specifically supportive for detox. And so you can take this one internally by using like a veggie capsule. I brought those in. I really love taking a lot of our oils that have supplemental facts on the bottle. You can take those internally, and that's a great way to do it in those. So the Zenderkin blend, Slim and Sassy is another really good one. We think about that one for weight management, but you guys, it really is helping detox, really helping the body be able to metabolize. And so that's a good one to think about. And then diluting Citrus Bliss or Purify and really massaging that with the flow of the lymph in our body. And then some detox scrubs or bath salts. You know, I'm not a big bath taker. I prefer showers myself. This is an area that I am trying to be mindful of, work on for myself. It really is helpful to use an Epsom salt bath with some essential oils that you prefer and be able to help draw out those toxins. What I've learned about detox bath is that you only want to stay in there for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then make sure you rinse afterwards and make sure you're drinking lots of water to continue flushing those things out. Really good blend here, which I just started using actually is this Liver Love blend. And so you roll this blend over your liver about 2 to 3 times a day. It has grapefruit and Slim and Sassy, Xenochrine, helichrysum, which is a great just overall oil for healing, and then frankincense, which is our king of oils, which is a really phenomenal cellular support. So that's a really good blend to have to give that liver some love. Here's some detox recipes. Like I mentioned, the detox bath. You know, some people do a detox drink in the morning with some apple cider vinegar and some manuka honey and some citrus oil, ginger and cinnamon. There are, you know, detox kind of protocols that doTERRA has some things put together in like a kit form that you could do, where you could kind of look through this and do that on your own to help if you're kind of thinking that you want to have a starting place for, you know, where do I start with detox and move on from there. Antioxidants. So I talked about how, you know, we've got those free radicals. We want to get rid of that. We want to support with antioxidants. We want that cellular repair. Some things we can do. You guys, for me, I just personally can share that I have, you know, fibrous tissue in my breast that it's like I have millions of cysts or have had millions of cysts over time. And so I actually use frankincense. I roll it over my chest 2 times a day. I'm noticing drastic difference in the tissue and not finding those lumps and bumps and things that I'm having to worry about. And so I definitely think that frankincense is a great one for helping support that cellular level. And then DDR Prime, which is a blend of various oils that is also really super supportive at a cellular level. And so for me, I actually take all of these in a capsule form now in the mornings. And so I put a drop of DDR Prime, a drop of turmeric, a drop of pink pepper, and a drop of Yarrow Pom. These are all top oils that are super good for that antioxidant. So I've noticed things like clearer skin, less inflammation, like joint pain is a thing of history for me. And so these things are really helping support that overall health and wellness, doing them in routine. You know, when I hit or miss sometimes, and then it's like, wait, I'm not seeing what I was seeing. And so definitely making sure you're doing them in routine. Hormonal support. So, you know, we've definitely got things going on like PMS symptoms, cramps, heavy periods. You know, are there things we can do? Absolutely. Clary Calm is a blend that's already our women's monthly blend. So that's already in a roller made up that we can get from doTERRA. Really great support for this hormonal needs that we have. You can make your own up with lavender and geranium, frankincense, and clary sage. I have my own made up. It was my backup when Clary Calm was all gone, actually. And honestly, like just using it throughout the month, not waiting for those symptoms is what I think is most helpful. And then thinking about our stress hormones. So thinking about those cortisol levels, thinking about how we can support that. So geranium, vetiver, lavender, and cedarwood, really good blend to do that. And then thyroid. So a lot of us have thyroid issues going on. Lemongrass, myrrh, frankincense, and peppermint together are really good for the thyroid. And then anybody dealing with like temperature fluctuations, head tension, all those kind of things that go on around our hormones. Peppermint's a really great one for that. I love taking peppermint, drop on my thumb, put it on the roof of my mouth. It really helps relieve that head tension. And so when I say these things about taking oils internally, you guys, make sure you know that I am talking specifically about doTERRA oils because they are, tested and made sure that they are quality so that we can take them internally safely. So make sure you're thinking of that as well. And then hair, skin, and nails. That's a big thing for us as women. I actually have just started like a week ago with this first one here with putting some peppermint in your shampoo. So I just put a little shampoo in my hand, put a couple of drops of peppermint in there and lather up, and it is so awesome. Just really kind of gives that boost in the morning actually, and is invigorated, and it actually helps control the oils. And so people are like, oh, I'm going to put oils in my shampoo. It actually helps control the natural oils. So that's a good one. And then I've been putting rosemary in my conditioner. So that one, the research actually shows that it helps really the health of the hair, anybody who's dealing with hair loss, that sort of thing. It does take a little bit of time from the research that is out there. It could take about 6 months to really notice hair growth, but people are noticing. And then some other things for skin. The yarrow palm is really awesome. I talked about taking it internally for the antioxidant. It's really phenomenal for the skin as well. I put this in my Virage moisturizer twice a day. It's got this beautiful blue color that just dissolves right in. And so that's a really nice one for the skin. Frankincense, so I talked about, breast care, but I actually rolled this one under my eyes as well, over some blemishes they might have. That's super helpful for the skin. Correct X, so Correct X is actually like our ointment, like a first aid ointment would be, and you can put that one over like skin blemishes, acne scars, any of those kind of things. It's got lavender and frankincense, helichrysum in there, so those oils are super supportive for the skin. I like to use for my nails Melaleuca, lavender, and frankincense. Just put those in a roller bottle together and roll those over the cuticles. Again, doing it in routine is the piece that, doing all of these things, we have to get into routine with them. And then I actually love Lavender Touch or the Correct X as a lip balm. And so when I use my Lavender Touch for a lip balm, I had it, I just actually take the cap off and kind of roll to my finger and use it that way. Super soothing for the lips, especially this time of year. So definitely recommend that one. And then oils for energy, emotional supports, and sleep. So we have a whole emotional line of oils at doTERRA, so many phenomenal blends that they have for us as far as supporting our emotions. We've got Motivate and Cheer. Passion is one of my favorites. Console, I actually really love that one. Forgive, Peace. So many wonderful blends. And those come in those touch rollers that are already diluted. So those are easy grab and go. But they also come in, blends that you can diffuse them and use them that way too. And then you can make your own rollers if you would want to have that multi-use. Serenity and Balance, that's my jam. I use Serenity and Balance every night. Made up those rollers, roll it on the bottom of my feet, down the spine. I rub it on my hands and actually rub my pillow. It's super, super helpful for just falling asleep. I used to think that I didn't sleep well and that I was just a thinker and that's how it was. And now that's just a thing of the past for me. So super recommended there for sleep. Also copaiba and frankincense, you guys, those oils are super for anti-inflammatory, cellular level support, which are really things that impact our emotional health and our sleep. So you can put a drop of copaiba or frankincense under your tongue 1 or 2 times a day. You can take them in capsule form if you don't really like the taste of them, which is how I prefer to take them. Copaiba actually comes in capsules now, which is phenomenal. So you can have those. I use copaiba for any sort of pain management that you need. in place of like a Tylenol or ibuprofen. That works for you. And then diffusing, of course, we can diffuse lots of oils for emotional support. I love spearmint and wild orange together during the day. I think this is a really good one for energy and keeping emotional balance. There's just a little thing about dilution. So I had some examples there that I talked about. We want to think about dilution. We want to think about it from the standpoint of making sure that, depending on the age of the person that you're going to use, making sure that we're diluting it. Just doesn't take away the properties, just making sure that it's at a safe level, because these are potent oils, and so we want to make sure that we're diluting it with like a fractionated coconut oil or almond oil, jojoba oil, some sort of carrier oil, so that it's safe for the body. And then also it actually really helps absorb, and so that's a great way to use it topically. All right, so just to summarize, that was a lot. I hope it wasn't overwhelming. I want to really encourage us, I'm talking to myself too, listening to our body is so important. Thinking about the signs and symptoms, if something's up, our body is sending us a signal. And so if we can tune into that with love and kindness, like I mentioned, not getting frustrated, but kind of, what can we do to keep moving forward with it? Really putting those food choices and digestion at the foundation of our support, our thinking when we're looking at wellness, including that good supplementation, because it's just something that we need in the way that the food is grown and processed now. Really seeking your oils, looking for them, swapping out some of your beauty and your cleaning products, and then getting oils into routine. That's the key, getting them into routine, thinking about detox, thinking about, what oils can I use for antioxidants, hormonal support, helping with emotions, and keeping, our sleep in check. Those are all super important things to stay well. And there's lots of great resources out there. I love the Essential Life book. You can look up the oils by their property. You can look up, what's going on with my liver, and you can look up oils for that. Or why is my face breaking out, and look up oils for that. So getting some resources, I can help you with that. Definitely let me know if those are things that you need. And then for those of you who are tuning in and are thinking that you would love to get started with some of this, you can definitely check out my website over on doTERRA, SBell Wellness. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as SBell Wellness too. I'm always in there trying to educate and share and learn together. The best way to shop doTERRA is definitely to have a membership. It's so awesome. Your $35 membership for the year gets you 25% off all year. There are some enrollment kits that actually waive that membership fee. And so depending on where you're at and what you want to start, we've got some great little starter kits. And then as you start to shop and you're doing it more and you're thinking about different levels of what you want to dig into, becoming a loyalty rewards member is a really great way to earn products for free. You can get your points back for your shipping, and you get points back for your product. And so then you can start to get some freebies along the way as well. And then, if these are things that you find yourself sharing with other people, definitely chat with me. I definitely love being able to do this with other people so that we can share together. It's a really great way to be able to get some of your oils paid for so that you can, stay within those budgets and still be able to have these complementary things that you want for your wellness. All right, so my contact information, definitely check me out on SBell Wellness on Facebook, Instagram, and my email is there as well. And I'll end with this. So the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So I really liked that because I really think that that's key, is like not getting so frustrated with what we're trying to fix, but just knowing that it's there and thinking about just building on it and you know, becoming a new us each of those days as we move along through this. So I hope that was super helpful and that you got some things out of this watching. Please let me know if there's anything that I can help you with. I'd love to hear from you so that we can do that together. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you soon.